Rosie's identity and self-discovery. Chapter 1. The Shattered Illusion. Rosie Stark always felt like a piece out of place in a grand puzzle. Growing up in the small town of Maplewood, she was known as the girl with her head in the clouds. Her parents, Elizabeth and Robert Stark, were well-respected members of the community, her father a successful lawyer and her mother a dedicated schoolteacher. They provided Rosie with a comfortable life, filled with opportunities to explore her interests in art, literature, and music. Yet, despite the seemingly perfect setting, Rosie felt a deep void inside her, an emptiness she couldn't explain. One chilly autumn afternoon, while cleaning the attic, Rosie stumbled upon a dusty old box filled with her family's old letters and photographs. Among them, she found a letter addressed to her parents from a woman named Clara Montgomery. The contents of the letter shook her to the core. Dear Elizabeth and Robert, I hope this letter finds you well. It has been many years since we last spoke, and I trust you are taking good care of Rosie. I know it was a difficult decision, but I believe it was the right one. She deserved a chance at a better life. With gratitude and love, Clara. Rosie's heart pounded in her chest. Who was Clara Montgomery? Why did she speak of Rosie as if she were her own child? The revelation that her parents might not be her biological parents was a bombshell that shattered Rosie's world. Chapter 2. The search begins. Confused and desperate for answers, Rosie confronted her parents that evening. Elizabeth and Robert, visibly distressed, confessed the truth. Rosie was adopted when she was just a few days old. Her biological mother, Clara Montgomery, was a close friend of Elizabeth who had fallen on hard times and couldn't care for her. We wanted to tell you when the time was right, Rosie, Elizabeth said, tears streaming down her face. We love you as our own, and we didn't want you to feel different. Despite their heartfelt explanation, Rosie felt a surge of betrayal and a desperate need to discover her roots. Who was Clara Montgomery? What was her story? Where did Rosie truly belong? Determined to find out, Rosie packed her bags and set off for the town of Rickleton, where Clara was last known to live. It was a journey not just to meet her biological mother, but also a quest for self-discovery and understanding. Chapter 3. Rickleton's Secrets. Rickleton was a quaint town nestled between rolling hills and dense forests. As Rosie walked through the cobblestone streets, she felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if she had been here before. The townspeople were friendly but guarded, and the name Clara Montgomery seemed to stir a mix of emotions in those she asked. At the local library, Rosie met Mrs. Jenkins, an elderly librarian with a wealth of knowledge about Rickleton's history. Clara Montgomery, you say? Mrs. Jenkins mused, her eyes narrowing. She was a remarkable woman, but her life was filled with hardship. She lived in the old Montgomery estate at the edge of town. Rosie made her way to the Montgomery estate, a grand but dilapidated mansion surrounded by overgrown gardens. The sight of the house sent shivers down her spine, as if the walls themselves whispered secrets of the past. Inside, she found more letters and journals that painted a picture of Clara's life, a talented artist who had faced numerous struggles, including the heart-wrenching decision to give up her child. Chapter 4. A Ghost from the Past. As Rosie delved deeper into Clara's writings, she discovered that Clara had been deeply in love with a man named Jonathan Hartley, a renowned artist. Their love story was intense and passionate, but it ended tragically when Jonathan died in a car accident. Heartbroken and alone, Clara had to give up Rosie in a desperate bid to give her daughter a better life. One night, as Rosie was reading in the dim light of the mansion study, she heard a faint noise coming from the attic. Curiosity getting the better of her, she climbed the creaky stairs and found a hidden room filled with Jonathan's paintings. Among them was a portrait of a young woman who looked strikingly like Rosie. Suddenly, she felt a presence behind her. Turning around, she saw an old man with piercing blue eyes, the same eyes she saw in the mirror every day. Who are you? Rosie asked, her voice trembling. I'm Edward Hartley, Jonathan's brother, the man replied. I've been watching over this place since Clara passed away. She left it to you, you know. Chapter 5. The Unexpected Inheritance. Edward revealed that Clara had passed away a few years ago, but she had left everything to Rosie, including the mansion and Jonathan's valuable art collection. "Clara loved you more than anything," Edward said. "She hoped that one day you would come back and claim your legacy." Overwhelmed by the revelations, Rosie decided to stay in Rickleton and restore the Montgomery estate. As she worked on the mansion, she felt a growing connection to her roots and a sense of purpose. She started organizing exhibitions of Jonathan's paintings, attracting art enthusiasts from all over the country. One day, while exploring the mansion's basement, Rosie found a hidden passage leading to an underground studio. Inside, she discovered unfinished paintings and a journal that revealed a shocking secret: Jonathan's death was not an accident. He had been murdered. Chapter 6. The Unraveling Mystery. Determined to uncover the truth, Rosie began investigating Jonathan's murder. She found out that Jonathan had been working on a series of paintings that exposed a powerful criminal organization in Rickleton. His death was orchestrated to silence him. Rosie's investigation put her in danger as well. She received anonymous threats, warning her to stop digging into the past. But with Edward's support and her newfound determination, she pressed on. Together, they uncovered a conspiracy that implicated several prominent townspeople, including the current mayor. Rosie's discoveries were met with resistance and disbelief, but she managed to gather enough evidence to bring the criminals to justice. The scandal rocked Rickleton, but it also brought closure to Jonathan's tragic story. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. With the mystery solved and the criminal organization dismantled, Rosie felt a profound sense of accomplishment. She had not only discovered her true identity but also found a place where she belonged. Rickleton was no longer just a town of secrets, it was now her home. Rosie decided to turn the Montgomery estate into a cultural center, dedicated to promoting art and creativity. She named it, the Clara and Jonathan Art Foundation, honoring her biological parents and their legacy. As the foundation flourished, Rosie met people from all walks of life who shared their own stories of self-discovery and identity. She realized that her journey was not just about finding her roots but also about helping others find theirs. Chapter 8. The Twist of Fate. Years passed, and Rosie's life was filled with love, art, and community. She married Edward's son, Daniel, who shared her passion for art and helped her run the foundation. They had 2 children, Clara and Jonathan, named after their grandparents. One sunny afternoon, as Rosie was going through old family records, she stumbled upon another letter, this time from her adoptive parents, Elizabeth and Robert. The letter was dated shortly after she left for Rickleton. "Dear Rosie, we hope you find the answers you seek in Rickleton. We always wanted to tell you the truth, but we were afraid of losing you. You are our beloved daughter, and nothing will ever change that. We hope you come back to us someday, with your heart at peace and your spirit whole. With all our love, Mom and Dad." Tears welled up in Rosie's eyes as she read the heartfelt words. She realized that her journey was not just about finding her biological roots but also about understanding the depth of her adoptive parents' love. She decided to visit Maplewood and reconnect with Elizabeth and Robert, sharing with them the incredible story of her self-discovery. Chapter 9. The Reunion. Returning to Maplewood felt like stepping into a different world. The town had not changed much, but Rosie had. She was no longer the girl with her head in the clouds. She was a woman who had faced her fears and found her true self. The reunion with Elizabeth and Robert was emotional and healing. They listened in awe as Rosie recounted her journey, the secrets she had uncovered, and the legacy she had embraced. They were proud of the woman she had become and grateful for the understanding that had brought them closer together. Rosie spent several weeks in Maplewood, reconnecting with old friends and sharing her experiences. She realized that her identity was not tied to one place or one set of parents. It was a tapestry woven from all the people who had loved and shaped her. Chapter 10. Full Circle. As Rosie returned to Rickleton, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Her life had come full circle, and she had discovered not just her roots, but also her wings. She continued to run the Clara and Jonathan Art Foundation, fostering creativity and self-discovery in others. One day, while organizing an art exhibition, Rosie met a young artist named Lily, who reminded her of herself. Lily was searching for her own identity and struggling with her past. Rosie took her under her wing, sharing her story and guiding her on her journey. Lily's presence brought new energy to the foundation, and she quickly became a beloved member of the community. Rosie saw in her the same spark of curiosity and determination that had driven her own quest for self-discovery. Chapter 11. The Legacy Lives On. Years later, Rosie stood in the gallery of the foundation, surrounded by the vibrant artwork of Jonathan, Clara, and countless other artists who had found their voices through the foundation. She smiled, knowing that the legacy of love, creativity, and self-discovery would continue to thrive. Her children, Clara and Jonathan, had grown up with a deep appreciation for their heritage and the importance of knowing oneself. They were both talented artists in their own right, carrying forward the family's artistic legacy. As Rosie looked out at the bustling town of Rickleton, she felt a profound sense of peace. Her journey had been filled with twists and turns, but it had led her to a place of belonging and purpose. She had discovered that true identity is not just about where you come from, but also about where you choose to go and the impact you make along the way. Epilog. A new chapter. Rosie's story became an inspiration to many. The foundation continued to grow, attracting artists and dreamers from all over the world. The mansion, once a symbol of mystery and pain, had become a beacon of hope and creativity. Rosie often reflected on her journey, grateful for the twists of fate that had led her to Rickleton and beyond. She knew that the search for identity and self-discovery was a lifelong process, and she embraced it with open arms. As she watched the sun set over the rolling hills, Rosie felt a deep connection to the world and to herself. She had found her true identity, not in the letters of the past or the secrets of the mansion, but in the love and creativity that flowed through her life. And so, the journey of Rosie Stark continued, a testament to the power of self-discovery, resilience, and the enduring quest to understand who we truly are and where we belong in the world. If you like the story, then please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.